very confident. But of course, the biggest question is, will GameLab remain as consistent, right? You alluded to a bit of whether GameLab would have a bit of roster change coming into this. We did see a one change in player, but the core is still the same. And if you are in GameLab, it means that you are ending your games pre-12 minutes.
They know how to push an advantage here, and that's what I love about GameLab, right? Give them just a little bit of space, and they're gonna turn it into miles and go further beyond. So I think MAB, if they want to play like Team SMG SG, where they go a little bit slower in their Game 1 matchup, I don't think that's a good idea because scaling compositions really struggle against GameLab.
Yeah, playing slow against GameLab in and of itself is really not what you want to do, right? Against GameLab, you want to be able to challenge them at every single corner. You want to be the aggressors, ironically, to slow them down. And I think, you know, for MLBB Esports, I'm not really sure how much they know about GameLab, but if anything, this is, I think, a very good, first test to see where MLBB Esports stands at.
I mean, with the supporting staff, they got Sunfrost there, and as well as Coach Rain. I think it's going to be more than enough. Rain coming back from the SEA Games after helping out the women's division, earned their medal, coming back here. Praise. Sunfrost has already... We've talked before. We've worked together and we've talked before. He has definitely mentioned GameLab, and he's keeping an eye on them for good reason. The question is, are they going to take the same elements that Euphoria did, the same steps, or are they going to innovate a little bit further?
Craziest thing is that, you know, all that talk led to this fateful date, right? Like, it just had to happen. The first enemy that they face off against is none other than GameLab. We're heading into the draft. Kaja and 1-1, first two to go.
Yep, Kaja and 1-1, first two to go. I'm starting to suspect that maybe Joy is going to be a follow-up here from one of the teams. The 1-1 is to be expected. And then the openers, right? Do they want to go for... Are they even considering the Fire Mist? Are they even considering the Glue being an issue? Or are they just going to focus solely on Aizawa, just like Euphoria did?
And so far, what GameLab, the evolution that they go through during the challenge stage also is, you know, in the open finals, they were prioritizing Takenaga's hero in the first phase. It was always Ling, Lancelot. And then it started evolving as the opponents get tougher, right? They were putting Takenaga's hero in the second phase. And I wonder what version of GameLab will we see today, because we've seen them push to the limit, but that's only if the enemy team is playing as fast as they are.
Yeah, that's whether or not you can actually maintain that same kind of tempo or how tight your defense is going to be, because GameLab generally likes to put you on the defensive as soon as they can. And even if you want to play a composition that scales and stalls, GameLab just waits their time until they have that one moment to suddenly just rip open and cut through your objectives like butter. 16 seconds left on the clock here for MLBB Esports to decide what their second ban is going to be. It's a bit strange. We do see the Give get banned out for the side of GameLab, and I'm pretty sure Zeph is more than capable of playing Give, but I don't think that's like his signature pick.
Yeah, and more confusing for me is that Aizawa loves the Eve, and they're also denying your own mid laner, right? I do wonder what is going to be the substitute. I mean, we still have Valentina, you still have the Farsa. I think, you know, GameLab and MAB would love to get their hands on that. But for now, you see the Arlott banned out by MAB, which is a hero that, you know, Havos, I think was the first to debut Arlott the moment he became available in the challenge stage, and he showed up massive.
Huge. That week was crazy. But let's see what GameLab is going to be going for this time. Are they even considering the interactions with Joy, Glue, for an example, and everything associated with them? Ah, yes, Glue gets banned out for the side of GameLab here. And maybe Esports, they could consider just leaving everything open. I mean, Fanny is basically untouched here, something that Takenaga is capable of playing. Joy, I would argue, a little worse to deal with.
Feels like MAB, you have to ban Joy, right? Like, looking at the amount of the picks that are still available, I do agree. I think Joy needs to go. What are the trades that MAB are willing to kind of initiate, though? So you ban a Joy, I mean, you still have like what, Valentina, the Farmist, the Fanny. Does MAB have a Fanny player? I think that is a core question, right?
They used to. It was supposed to be Amal from Red Esports. I mean, but that was like a while. That was a long while ago, like the original Lunatics roster. Okay, so we see the Valentina opening from the side of GameLab. It doesn't matter what mage that MAB Esports is going to bring to the table because it is just its ult is going to get copied. So whether it is the not the Valir, what am I thinking here? The Faramis, and as well as the Farsa.
The Farsa. What else could you copy? Pretty much that. Just those two mages.
I mean, generally, those are the two mages that you want. They're the most impactful abilities, so it looks like they want to go for the Farsa.
And the
follow
Fanny,
it up
okay.
with the Fanny. Okay, nice, nice.
That answers the question. Would
Like,
this prompt the Franco pick, right? Because GameLab, they gotta pick the next two heroes now.
oh hell no! They're probably gonna go with the Kufra and as well as the Yutong, arguably. Or at some point whip out the Yutong just to kind of cancel. They could go with Grok as well. There's
Oh yeah?
many different angles they can take with it.
They actually do run the Grok into the Fanny, right? I don't remember if there was a Havos Grok. I believe it was a Havos Grok, then you have a Kufra alongside it. That was very annoying to deal with. Well, they ignored both of that. It's a Lancelot and a Lapu Lapu. That is the GameLab we know and love. They just ego challenge you.
Yeah, they're like, oh wow, you got a lot of damage and a hypermobile jungler, no problem, because the only immobile person is gonna die there.
Yeah.
And Farsa is going to get jumped on by a lot of people.
This is the team that actually limits Tess every step of the way. If they can dive you into your inhibitor, they will sure as heck dive you at 5 minutes. Kufra does go over to MAB. That's the first deny by MAB, and now they get to ban out those crucial picks, right? I mean, if they want to ban out the Grok, they can do it right here to protect the Farsa.
Do they need to though? I feel like they've already got a backline diver in Lapu Lapu, and I think that's more than enough rather than to dedicate yourself to the Grok. So if that is going to be the case, you start thinking about the marksmans here. If MAB, if anything, they're thinking about either marksmans and their interactions with support. So we're thinking about the Lolitas, we're thinking about anybody who can actually disengage from the composition that we see from MAB, so arguably even Diggy as well.
But if looking at what GameLab has, okay, so the Grok does get banned. What are the ways to deal with all these dives, though? I mean, aside from the Franco, right? Because that is one of the more obvious ones, but they already have a Kufra.
Did that jersey say YQT on it?
Yeah, I was reading that also.
Sorry, I can't. That's so good. That's so good. Oh
Amongst
boy.
all the IGNs we've both seen over like what 6 years.
So, yeah, 6 years of different variations.
There have been some pretty good ones.
This is definitely a top 15 for me. That's a really good one. All right, so we see the carry get banned out for the side of GameLab, which does tell us or indicates towards us that the last couple of picks are going to be, well, at least for the support, going to be a tank.
Yeah. Maybe what's the option right now? Still no. Well, maybe then at least for them they're not considering the marksman yet. What other tanks are left in the pool? Honestly, not much, right?
Tanks in the pool. They could still go for Atlas. They could go for the Franco. It's still available. They could go for a Bidsitar if they want to. They could go for Edith if they're feeling a little spicy that day. Yep, MAB, they decide to get rid of the Atlas there.
Okay.
Man, it's like they know.
Yeah, it's like they know. Even that one more ban should still be the marksman. Kind of limited options for MAB.
Yeah, Melissa is probably not going to get picked up for the side of GameLab, and I don't think do they care that much if MAB has access to it? Yeah, not at all.
They banned a Uranus.
They decide to get rid of the Uranus. They don't want Lapu Lapu to get sandbagged in lane. MAB could still technically go for like an Esmeralda if they really wanted to, but then there's not much shields to steal away, so you do lose a little bit of value.
Is Esmeralda a viable option in any scenario?
Esmeralda, I mean, when you're up against Phoveus, that's like your best match.
But you have to have a 1-1.
Well...
You have to have a 1-1 and the enemy picks Phoveus and you're like, okay.
I mean, yeah, that's usually how the cases go here. MLB Esports will get that first pick and they will take full advantage of this Claude.
Yeah, it's going... And that still leaves Melissa up on the table. What, Melissa, Beatrix is also there. If they ever get, you know, adventurers, maybe the Moskov. Though I don't think that would be the case. I feel like Beatrix is probably Even Melissa, honestly, I think Melissa would be a better pick.
The thing is that Melissa can't get in range on the far side. I feel like if this is the case, Moskov is going to be the pick, but instead, it's going to be the Beatrix. Yuktizi says, you know what? I'll just wait it out. I'll just wait until the Feather Airstrike is done.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. That's the team cheer. All right, they've already won like half the game. That's going into with good spirits. The Franco is going to be the last pick for Game Lab. They are locked and loaded. What is MAB's choice? So, looking for that XP laner. Still have, I mean, the Edith, the Fredrin, if they want to go for that.
Oh, yeah. Fredrin is a bit of a sandbag too, huh?
Yeah, the neutralizer, right? If you don't want to deal with the Lapu Lapu, you just put the Fredrin, just park him in the XP lane.
I feel like there's got to be like a better pick out there, though.
You don't?
There's no reason for it. I mean, you're going into a lane. You're going into a lane that's already pretty. A little difficult to kind of manage because Lapu Lapu isn't going to interact with you for the first 4 levels of the game, so you got to kind of do something in that early game time. I'm thinking more along the lines of like maybe Thamos, arguably, so they can instantly invade the jungle, look for opportunities, and start cracking things open for them. Benedetta as well.
What about the Masha?
The Masha, it wouldn't be too bad. It definitely makes it difficult for Beatrix to breathe, but you don't get as much because she's technically pretty useless in these like full team fights. You just have one job, and that's just to mess with people. So in the end, MAB decide to go for the Yuzong just to make sure that Beatrix has a hard time, and at least provides that early game pressure. Yeah.
But that means that we are also looking at a skill matchup in the XP lane, right?
For sure.
Like whoever gets help and wins that lane, if essentially just shut down your counterpart. Now that instead of a neutralized lane, we're seeing a very volatile matchup in the XP lane.
Extremely volatile matchup here. Both sides are going to be giving it their all as we start moving in towards the Land of Dawn. This is going to be quite an interesting matchup. I mean, the draft has been, a lot of thought has been put into this draft between Game Lab and MAB Esports.
Well, Sunfrost has been waiting for this very moment. He's also seen Game Lab play. He's also seen how they lose in the Challenge Finals. Let's see how that gets put into practice. Game Lab and MAB Esports. The matchup of a century.
Yep, it's going to be a good matchup here. Let's see how they play it out. Game Lab on blue side, MAB on red. RanQT, he needs to make that instant impact, right? He's probably going to be looking for some kind of cheap kill somewhere, but Game Lab instantly, with that fast rotation, trying to steal away a camp to slow him down.
Yeah, and you just take the resources away from RanQT, and I see Game Lab just very well thought out, shove the mid wave and instantly just cut away the resource, the XP off this Fanny. And this also prevents MAB from having this very cheeky early snowball. Takenaga going for his own invade.
Yep, and no, this is like a very typical invade, right? Because every single time that junglers play, they go for the traditional path and eventually end on the four-ball, especially if they start it from purple side, right? And it's great that we do see that that Game Lab was able to steal away at least the Beetle side, because now Takenaga, he's got a Beetle. If you look on the opposite side of the map, it looks like RanQT can't do anything about it, right?
Yeah, definitely can. At least he's able to find some space for himself, right? Despite it's just a very, very minor setback, they both still hit level 4. 20 seconds before the turtle spawns, that will be on the top side. Again, between Havos and Siska, that is one of the important matchups to keep an eye out for, and that's why MAB Esports, they bring a bit of help. Deto shows up, as Havos noticed, he's not going to be bothering.
Yup, there's one too much right now, but it does mean that Game Lab will have priority over this turtle. Both mages looking to hit level 4 as 2v2 breaks out.
Siska able to push Aizawa back, but not doing enough. Better Astra even used, and Havos just jumps on top of Deto, cancelling that ultimate out. Siska goes into the Black Dragon form, but has no means of stopping this retreat. Elohadi just shows up with a bloody hunt, a two-man root, and an iron hook to push Siska back. RanQT finally shows up with Zap getting the knockback of the Takenaga into the wall. They need a bit more damage for the first blood, and they will find it. RanQT takes care of Takenaga.
Ooh, gets out just in time. Aizawa even stealing the Black Dragon form for himself and actually manages to proc the Sha residue to keep himself alive there. But that is going to be first blood going over to MAB Esports. A good call from Deto to actually pop the feathered airstrike early. He literally literally gets an ult out of Havas, so he doesn't have it for the upcoming fight, and denies level 4 away from Aizawa. I mean, at the end of the day, they still didn't get the turtle, but hey, the idea was there.
Yeah, and even, you know, Havas got really carried away, right? Trying to chase Detto. Well, now he forces that recall back. Havas thankfully didn't have to use his flicker. MLBB Esports, they weren't able to get that first objective. Next one coming up in another minute, but this also opens up space for Siska to get some extra goal in.
Yep, flags that goal. Voss just instantly. Oh, he could be dead here.
Could be. Ran is very nearby. No help. Havas gone on. As he gets the stun, the timing a bit uncanny from the side of Havas, but Ran's like, what the hell? I'm just going to commit onto this one. Petrify is there with the knockup. Havas, so no chance.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And the only wait, hold on. Bottom side.
Gonna try Zev dropping low. Takinaga going for the chase. Knocked back, but the puncture is enough. Straight to the heart. And Saurus can't do much damage this time. And unfortunately for Detto, he also has to run away.
Oh, hell no. He is out of there fast. And they're willing to sacrifice his purple buff to get more pressure on that top side. Not sure if that was the wisest decision for RanQT. It does mean it's going to be purple buffless for the next 3 minutes.
And that also means you are taking away his potential to join these fights, right? If they is even going to be one at the next turtle, which Game Lab, they have already parked themselves there. It should be an uncontested objective, and maybe turning their attention over to the bottom side, looking for Yuktisi. That could be a catch. Game Lab are very well aware.
Yeah, they are extremely aware. No contestation for the turtle means that they're probably on the opposite side of the map, especially with the information that they have. They have Elo Hardy here just to make sure that they can cover. They hit 2!
Zev finds them, and RanQT just instantly shows up. Yuktisi flickers. Don't let him get away. He's gonna go down. Bloody Hunt from Elo Hardy. Gets a good trade back onto Ran. MLBB Esports Zev. I have overextended. What a block from Aizawa. Now Zev is probably going to go down. The Stolen Feather airstrike used by Aizawa as well and gets the full benefit of that. Takinaga finds the trade.
Yep, MAB unfortunately did not want to take that. They wanted to take the initial dive, but they didn't want to take up with the following reinforcements afterwards. Takinaga now with a significant level lead over RanQT, 2 levels ahead, punishing him heavily for every move that he makes. And without that purple buff, he's so limited. 10 more seconds, and now he's going to realize how small his Rechi actually is.
It all started from one purple buff. You see, you give Game Lab an inch, they take it the whole 10 miles. Even Havas has an XP lead over Siska despite dying 2 times. Zev pull back with the iron hook, suppressed, and he's gone. Takinaga killing spree, looking for the steal, and of course he's gonna get it. Better retribution.
Yep, the retribution is just so much bigger. You can't really do much about it as Yuktisi is able to get the BOD. And the gold lead that was achieved by MLBB Esports now in the hands of Game Lab. Let's look at the gold earned leaderboard so far with Takinaga at 4.4k to 3.9k from Yuktisi and Saurus actually. Oh no, Siska 3.6. So he is going to be the earning the most so far for MLBB.
Takinaga is 1,000 gold more than RanQT. That is brutal for Fanny.
Man, not the greatest start in the world, but Game Lab, this is their style. This is their overall play style. Look at it. They're even supercharging this with TC and find Zev in the process.
Saurus, not really sure if you want to even be there. Zev was able to leap away in time, and oh boy, this is the bad news. Saurus forced to get out of it, sniped anyways by Yuktisi. RanQT at least get a trade back, but that could have been mitigated for sure.
God damn, Yuktisi's still so sharp. Zev looks really engaged. Oh, Siska!
He's coming in with Black Dragon form, expires just in time, and Detto again forced to cancel his out thanks to Takinaga diving the back.
Yep, and Takinaga is just farming in the enemy jungle at this point in time. Like Siska, you can see that just the raw damage from Takinaga is more than enough.
And they're gonna break this. What a hook from Elo Hardy. Well, they funnel Siska right into the hands of this Franco.
Oh man, they're just passing him around. Oh, this is rough here as MAB trying to get some kind of space and time, but losing that mid-tier 1 so early on into the game means that they lose pretty much all access to their jungle.
Takinaga is 3 levels ahead of RanQT at this point, and I'm not really sure if this Fanny want to be even showing himself in the bottom side. At the Game Lab, they got MAB by the throat and they're just shaking them dry. They're choking the air out of their lungs.
Oh, it's starting to collapse. It's going to start collapsing soon with a 4K lead 7 minutes into the game, just proving that Game Lab making sure they stick to their namesake. Average game time is short.
Try onto Havaz, but not gonna kill him this time. Havaz gets out. Oh, Elo Hardy, he is concealed. RanQT can't get away. Doesn't have much energy left in the tank, and Aizawa is gonna be there. Also, the Iron Hook, not enough to kill out RanQT, but the rest of MAB also needs to disengage. Shoktizi, please don't do it. Is there gonna be a snipe? They're putting the bodies just to make sure that RanQT gets the recall. But GameLab putting pressure on this top lane. Iron Hook goes wide. Aizawa shows himself, and maybe they are forced to hover around here.
Yeah, they can't really do much about it. GameLab have a very good position. They get the initial catch onto Elo Hardy, but he's just not worth the time to invest in, knowing that the rest of the GameLab members could be lurking around.
Takinaga is still in the jungle. Look at this man. He is fearless. Shoktizi wants that turret, but Saurus will use that blade into it just to clear out the wave. GameLab have full control of the lore at this point, and maybe can't contest this area.
Yeah, Takanaga 3 levels ahead of RanQT despite not having, well, actually having the same KDA at this stage of the game.
Oh yeah, Takanaga just power farming all the buffs. And one day RanQT will get this purple buff. Oh no, contested again. Oh, brutal.
Oh!
What was that hook from Elo Hardy? RanQT barely making it out with his life. Takinaga gets the purple buff as this guy is in the back with the dragon form, gets the petrify. Oh, the shard is enough to bleed out Elo Hardy, but man, MAB had to use a lot.
Yep, they had to use a lot, but more importantly, at least they got a kill back. RanQT on the opposite side of that, trying to pull attention to himself. Oh, you should be using the steel cables there, buddy. Hopefully he has enough energy to get back out.
Hey, that's all the cables he has. Just enough.
Just enough. Manages to get the turret and everything that comes along with it. GameLab is still 5K ahead, and that is only going to put a dent, very slight dent, before they hit the 6K mark.
A stolen Black Dragon from Aizawa. RanQT did not expect that. Takinaga with the puncture again, just aims for the jugular. I mean, Takinaga is 4 levels ahead, and he's max level.
Oh boy, he can't get any more powerful than this. At least, you know, the worst is yet to come, I guess. Oh.
At least his level will not increase anymore.
Yep. He can only be level 15. He can't get higher than that.
At an airstrike. That doesn't really get the channel. What was that hook again?
Okay, to be fair, even I couldn't see where the Iron Hook was going. It was a very weird angle with a lot of like ads just laid across the field, whether it be minions and also just distracting structures as well. It's hard to actually see it from that angle. Oh!
Love to see that.
What a sucker punch.
Elo Hardy again. Watch out for the hook. Nowhere is safe. Coming for your entire family. GameLab breaks the mid inhibitor. Havaz is somehow in the base. He doesn't really care too much.
Oh man, they are putting the hurt on MLBB Esports. Their timings are just impeccable. This entire time, RanQT has been trying to push out these waves to find any kind of gold to keep MLBB Esports in this game.
Yeah, MAB forced to throw bodies just to open up the map, and even then, like, it's not nearly enough. Right, you're getting the tier 1 bot. RanQT, he's not gonna have energy to continue pushing topside, so he's recalling again, and just no buffs for him.
Yeah, but at least he can travel across the map super quickly. I think that's the only plus point that he has, and he's thankful for. But other than that, he would really just like a fluff. That would be the most ideal. Oh, Takanaga already in his jungle, taking literally everything.
He just watches. He's like, oh my.
Man's playing a different game.
RanQT is not getting. Oh, he's not allowed to play this game. It's like it's way past bedtime for him.
This is painful. This is so painful. GameLab just waiting for the next objective to come back in, but they have starved out MAB. They are farming in fields that don't belong to them.
Yeah, they're eating a buffet in front of 5 starving children right now. You want this? Nope. Not even a grain of rice.
Not even a grain of the rice. Having fun with 5 lactose intolerant people. You know, it's the worst to watch.
Yeah, cheese, you know, some I can't think of anything right now. Cheese. I'll stick with cheese. MLBB Esports had the death ball, 4-man down bot, just to make sure that they have a convoy and they will be able to put out some sort of resistance. They won't be able to make it out of there. Takinaga is 1 against 3. Not that he cares. I think he got the purple. Yeah, he got it again.
He got it. The man's got some movement, I'll tell you that. Even Ren QT.
Wait, no,
oh, wait,
I think Ren has
Ren
it.
has it, yeah.
Thank goodness.
Oh, all right.
Finally.
Finally, he has it for once. He just had to commit his retribution for it.
You better recall right now, because it wouldn't matter if you die. He's gone.
Can't get the energy regeneration if he's dead. Oh,
Oh,
Boss
oh.
might actually have him here.
He does have energy, so he will be able to get out of that. Wow, that's it for him. It's 3 seconds in the lane, and he's forced to recall.
You know what's the worst part? Like, Havas didn't even need to use his ult to chunk him down.
Yeah, Havas just chopped him once, and he's like, okay, you win. Feather airstrike used. They actually get you TZ. This might be a chance to mount the defense. 2 Black Dragons flying around. One of them is counterfeited, and that's going to be Aizawa. So punished by Ran QT, and maybe able to strike back.
See, this is why you gotta use the gold disc instead of the blue disc. you don't want to get the wrong ones here.
The purple disc.
The purple disc, yes, that's the one, that's the one.
You played what do you call it? 2 clips of car racing, and one of them is just static.
One of them is static.
It just lags out. This is why you pay for premium.
Yeah, you gotta
remove
make sure.
the ads and
as much as you can. But with that being said, GameLab, they have been playing a little passive, right? They were waiting for the opportunity to get this Lord. They got the Lord, but Cisco?
Takanaga is solo killing this man. Oh, Ran QT, your friend needs help. He's running the wrong way.
Nah, they're out of there. They're out of there for sure. Right now, MAB, they're not getting farmed as hard as they were in the earlier stages, which means that they are scaling. GameLab is about to hit their ceiling here. 47, we're looking at about the 51K mark. Or, sorry, just the 50K mark flat would be the most ideal for GameLab, because that means that pretty much all of their members would have a majority of their core items, and their carries would have full items. MAB, on the other hand, 42K seems good, but they won't have the situational items.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Deto has not died a single time, right? And this guy is dealing just a obscene amount of damage in these fights. And if they can somehow catch you TZ, oh, it's gonna be good news, because I don't think he even got to use his flicker in the previous fight.
No, he did not get to use his flicker in this previous fight. That's why it's currently on cooldown.
Oh, Ran,
yeah.
get out.
He'll be fine. Blind hook.
Oh! Oh my goodness! He actually got out.
Yo, Ran, he is literally running away with it, right? He is getting away with thievery. He's already stolen 2 tier 1s. He's been able to sneak away wave after wave as he continues to show up on that top side. With that purple buff, he will be ready for this upcoming fight.
That was despite the flicker from Elohardi. You couldn't have gotten any closer than that. But MAB, they will concede this Lord, unfortunately. Zeph a bit too late. They even used the Black Dragon, but turn around, buddy. This is not your fight, Zeph. Oh, body blocked by Havas, using the bouncing bot just to gain distance. But Elohardi getting a hook. No, not this time. No flicker. But that top lane is getting pressured a lot by Ran QT.
Yeah, Ran, he's doing his job. It forces Havas to actually come back to stop it. And now the Lord empowering minions, at least they've staggered at least a top wave for the initial push. MAB, on the other hand, they gotta make sure that this mid push doesn't crack open the base.
4v5, MAB, they have time. 4v4 right now, Ran QT shows up.
Oh!
The cool frog catch! Oh boy, you love to see that. Zab making the hero play, and that's it. That push has just ended.
Instantaneously, just like that, already done for. MAB, Voss is baiting there, but MAB Esports are coming to the point where they've recovered from the initial early to mid-game damage provided by GameLab, all thanks to Ran QT and the convoy of MAB Esports to keep each other safe.
Yeah, it's protect the president, President Fanny. Well, the mid-tier one still stands for GameLab. MAB Esports needs to at least break the structure to have more comfortable map control. Zev instantly in, pushes the Franco back, and that should be able to take care of business. Havas in the midst of things, still have some health to work with. Absolutely bursted down. Siska, what a knockout! The shard heal and the blazing duet. Soros is in. They found Yuktizi. They found Aizawa. They found a boss. MAB mounting a comeback. That's 4 dead for GameLab.
Oh, they find the counter of a lifetime. So big, and they were able to convert it into 4 kills. Now, MAB, they could end the game with this wave. Takanaga should be able to clear it, no problem, but we'll see. It is a Kufra.
If Zep catches him one more time, this is going to be it. unheard of in this performance. GLAB, they dropped in game 1. MAB, what a comeback. The preparation is paying off.
They have the series hands up, very happy. The boys are excited here. Nicely played. Oh boy. Now we've got a serious game on our hands.
Oh yes.
Oh boy.
GLAB, I mean, they have an MPL team in their sights, but MAB Esports showing why the MPL is the creme of the crop, the Premier League, and not many teams can take a beating from GLAB for 15 minutes straight and win the game still.
Yeah, what a way to crawl their way from a significant deficit all the way up to a win here. 1-0 against GLAB. Congratulations.